The following podcast may contain spoilers, strong language, graphic violence, and nudity. Viewer discretion is advised. This is not unlike escaping my mother's womb. God, what a memory.
Four guys and a movie. Four guys and a movie. Donnie, Brian, Rob, and Joe reviewing movies for the show. Four guys and a movie.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Four Guys in a Movie podcast, the podcast about movies by dorks for dorks. I am your host this week, Rob, joined by my friends in no particular order.
Will.
Tony.
And Joe.
Hey, guys. How y'all doing?
Great.
Yeah.
Perfect. So,
Like Alfred Molina, my face is stuck in a bear trap.
And your teeth are jet black.
And my teeth are jet black.
All right.
Man.
Cool. Alfred Encino Man Molina. This week we watched LadyHawke from what year did this
1985.
Okay. I mean, I should have been able to tell that just from the Casio keyboard presets that we're playing throughout this entire film, but yeah. So we'll start off with Will being the youngest little boy. Will, have you ever seen LadyHawke before?
Okay, not only had I never seen it before, I had never heard of it before we rolled it last week, and I kept falling asleep, so I'm not even sure if I saw it today.
Wow.
Okay.
And I
Cool.
believe at one point you said you thought it was an arm wrestling movie?
Or like something with truckers, I don't know, like... I don't know,
How do you confuse this and Over the Top?
Well, it just sounded like LadyHawke would be like a
Yeah, a CB handle.
CB handle for somebody, like Candy Cane
What?
from Joyride.
Okay.
Now you're talking about movies Rob's never seen.
Yeah.
Flip
Anyway.
it on you, bitch.
Yeah, cool. Tony, what's your history with LadyHawke?
I've seen it before, at least once or twice. I'm willing to bet we watched this at a friend's house, because this is, right up there with the kind of movies we watched with our friends there, John and Matt. But I haven't seen this in ages.
Okay. Joe, how about you?
I am pretty sure John showed me this at his house. And I remember from this film, Matthew Broderick's totally forgettable. Rutger Hauer throws giant swords through people. And the soundtrack totally does not fit the movie. In a spectacular way.
I noticed today you're going under the moniker Rutger Hauer.
Yes.
This is the movie that came from, right?
Correct.
That sort of inner circle meme we've had going.
Yeah, so whenever you finish off a person by throwing your melee weapon through them, that is called a Rutger Hauer.
Okay.
Well, a melee weapon you're not meant to throw, like a spear doesn't count.
Okay.
A lot of accidental stabbings in this movie.
Yeah,
Accidentally falling off swords.
a lot of falling on swords.
You're being thrown into fires.
So here's where you guys. So you guys are gonna have to help me out a little here, Joe and Tony, because I don't remember ever seeing this movie. And when Sharon was asking me what movie we're doing today, I told her that I'd seen it at John's house with you all.
Mm-hmm.
But when I watched it today, I was like, I don't remember any of this. So it may be maybe I was there and I was just wildly distracted, or I don't know.
I mean, this might have just been from the era where you stopped coming around on Fridays.
Ooh.
It's possible, but I imagine it's kind of like, water off a duck's back. You watched it, but you didn't retain a single thing.
I guess. Here's a fun fact. I own this movie. And I don't know where it came from. I don't know where it came from. No, I think it's just a straight DVD.
4K.
Yeah, it's 4K 3D Blu-ray.
Ultra HD.
It's the virtual experience. Yeah, so I didn't remember this movie at all. I had no idea Matthew Broderick was in this. I had no idea there was a wolf involved, although now hearing the story that we watched at John's, that doesn't surprise me at all. I thought Michelle Pfeiffer was the main character and she had a pet hawk. That's what I thought it was.
God, she's not in it much at all.
And for those keeping track at home, that means this is one of the, 26 movies that Rob owns, and he's never seen it.
Well, to be fair, out of the 26 movies I own, I've seen about 3 of them.
Yeah.
So anyway, all that said, Tony, is there any other history on this movie?
There is. So this was directed, of course, by the great Richard Donner, who you might know from The Omen, Superman, or Lethal Weapon, or
part
previous.
Of Superman.
Well, no,
part of Superman 2. Sorry.
Technically, all of Superman 2, but that's a complicated story we're not going to get into right now. But of course, he's also been a part of previous episodes, The Goonies and Scrooged. For other facts, there were a bunch of hawks used in this movie. One of them,
including one very fake one.
Yeah. Oh, more than one, I assure you. But one of
Was
them
this like a
apparently-
Milo and Otis?
I don't believe so. From what I heard,
Yeah, when Matthew Broderick told her that he used to eat hawks all the time, he was not kidding. He meant on set.
yeah, no, but one of the hawks apparently really loved Rutger Hauer, and they became good friends.
Who wouldn't?
What? He was the best man at his wedding.
Yes.
Yeah.
Another one of the hawks named Spike 2, so that doesn't bode well. But apparently they died in 2007 as an ambassador.
Hmm?
Yep.
To what?
To the Hawk
to the-
Nation?
Yeah, pretty much. To the Arbiter Society?
The people of the
What?
movie
heard me.
dedicated to the brave warriors of Hawk Nation.
They also brought in 4 Siberian wolves to play the wolf, obviously. Originally, at one point, it was going to be Kurt Russell as the lead character here,
Oh wow.
and Rutger Hauer was looked at to play the old captain, or the new captain of the guard, the
villainous
bad guy. Yeah.
Oh wow.
At another time, they thought about replacing. Well, Kurt Russell dropped out, and they thought about bringing in Sean Connery. Obviously, that didn't go that way.
Okay.
for-
thankfully.
For Philippe, they thought about at one point Sean Penn or Dustin Hoffman.
Oh boy.
Huh.
And for the Bishop,
Lateral shift.
at one time, they thought about getting Mick Jagger.
Yeah, that would not work.
And also, I guess, in the part where the hawk is injured and we send Philippe on his way,
Mhm.
they slapped the horse, and the horse literally just took the fuck off, and they could not control it.
Nice.
So they just had to wait until
I'll
it
be right
kinda
back, guys.
tired itself out.
Wait, like while Matthew Broderick was on it?
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
So this was after War Games, but pre Ferris Bueller?
I
Or,
believe so.
what year was Ferris Bueller?
Good question.
That had to be late 80s, right? Like borderline 90s?
I'm not sure.
Let's I'm gonna look it up right now.
If only there was
That's
some
what I'm
kind of internet movie database.
What year
I'm
did
sure.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off come out?
86.
Oh yeah, 86. So
Thank
he probably was filming around the same time, maybe.
Wow.
Okay. He should have kept that same haircut.
Same wardrobe.
Alright, well, Joe has stepped out of the room, so does somebody want to do the cast list here real quick?
Yeah, so we got Rutger Hauer
Mm-hmm.
as Wolf Guy.
Yep.
Michelle Pfeiffer as titular LadyHawke.
Titular indeed.
Matthew Broderick is Philippe the Mouse. And Alfred Molina is Wolfcatcher Guy.
Wolf get your guy, yep.
So when I woke up from falling asleep, it was when he fell and got his head trapped in a thing. So I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
there's Alfred Molina.
Yep, played a huge part in this. Really, really nice foreshadowed bad guy for the movie. Oh boy. All right.
You also have John Wood returning to the show as the bishop.
What was he before? I don't even remember.
He was in War Games, actually.
Oh wow.
Oh, he was a professor, right? Like the.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I see it now.
And
Nice.
Leo McKern as Imperius.
Yeah. Was he in anything before?
Not
Seems like
that I remember.
Seemed like a famous British actor, but like nothing I had really seen.
Probably,
he was definitely in other stuff, but
probably just like a
nothing.
character actor.
I don't know if I trust someone whose name is Imperius. Like,
Well,
pretty,
I mean,
it's pretty scary.
he did pretty much screw the pooch. I mean,
I'm
Yeah,
back.
so-
What did I miss?
we just read off the cast list.
Oh, okay. Then
Yeah, I think I
this is my
think
fault.
I was asleep when they explained like why they were Wolf and LadyHawke. So you guys are gonna have to explain that to me.
We'll get to that.
So, when a boy wolf and a lady hawk love each other very much.
You get a
Oh.
Rutger Hauer.
That's right. You get
I
a
gotcha.
8-foot tall blonde Aryan boy.
So do you want to guess at how much money this movie cost to make?
Ooh.
Hmm.
Um.
How many hawks did they go through?
They said 4, so that probably means at least 8 or 9.
Yeah, definitely.
Publicly 8,
Yeah.
publicly 4.
How much?
I'm
did
gonna say $8 million.
Yeah, my gut was 10. My gut was saying 10 million.
What's the going rate for a hawk when they're an ambassador, though?
That didn't happen
Um,
until after, though.
That's
I'm
post LadyHawke.
I'm gonna lowball it. Say 6 million.
Oh, bad choice. It was 20 million.
Okay.
For the budget? Holy crap.
Jeez. Because my first instinct was actually 14, but I was like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right.
And
All right.
want to guess how much it made?
God.
12.
30 million.
40?
I'll give you a clue. None of you remember this movie.
Yeah.
Or have ever heard of it in any kind of discussion about movies.
8 million.
No, it was 18 million.
Okay.
We all overshot.
I was talking to Rob pre-record, and I was like, I'm surprised this movie hasn't gotten a weird remake.
It did in that one episode of Charmed.
Yeah.
There you go.
Get just a CGI.
See, I don't-
CGI
this is one.
wolf.
I feel like it'd be fucked up if they remade it. They'd fuck it up pretty bad.
Well, they fucked it up the first time.
I don't know. Well, I mean, we'll get to that in our ratings.
Yeah,
but,
yeah,
You
yeah.
know. Anyway.
I do apologize. I am having some.
Got the Dorito lungs over there.
No, I got
Choking on some feathers?
No, it's allergies.
Mm.
All right.
All right. So, first thing immediately apparent in this movie that, like I've already mentioned, the soundtrack is so fucking inappropriate.
Yes.
It is amazing. I mean, it is literally like Ravenous and then this for movies with soundtracks that do not fit what's going on.
Yeah, it definitely set the tone. Like, as soon as I turned it on, I'm like, okay, this is like sending off some warning bells in my head.
Yeah.
I'm like,
It's-
why is it playing a montage music right now? Like, what's happening? Who's fighting? Who's getting prepared to fight?
Because
It's
if you asked me
Alan-
beforehand what the soundtrack would sound like, I would have guessed like some kind of, Lord of the Rings adjacent, some high fantasy
Yeah.
that they
orchestral.
mentioned some sort of Philharmonic orchestra, but I don't hear that. I just hear Alan Parsons pounding synthesizers. And holy crap, are they pounding?
I gotta say, though, I was kind of into it.
Oh, I enjoyed it. I was loving it, but I'm like, this does not match what's going on at all.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's so bizarre, and it's so like every time there's any kind of action sequence, it just goes into this huge, insane like.
Yeah, and this is not a man who's just been accidentally stabbed with a sword and is screaming in pain. This is not the soundtrack you want for that scene.
It's like training montage.
Yeah, but
Freaking
But
circus circus music going on.
because of that, it somehow works for me.
But at the same
Yeah.
time, it sounds almost like kind of off-brand MIDI versions of songs that already exist.
Yeah, these songs are not they're not strong on their own. Like I wouldn't crank any of these in my car or whatever. Also, this opening sequence goes on for like 2 minutes too long.
Mhm.
All right, so what are we doing here? It starts off. We got some people getting hanged in this. We got this place, Aquila. Looks like it sucks there. People are getting hanged. The guards go into the dungeons. They want Philippe Gaston. They want the mouse.
It's pretty much your typical medieval shithole.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of shithole, you actually get to watch the live birth of a turd.
Yeah. So Matthew Broderick is born into this movie.
He Shawshanks this motherfucker.
Yeah, he does. He Shawshanks
Right
his
from the
way out.
beginning.
And
Yeah.
he escaped right down the shitter.
He's just crawling out of his mud hole. He legit looks like a dog shaking on a lawn, just trying to squeeze one out.
And this character is probably my biggest problem with the movie. Because, I mean, they need someone, I guess, to witness the dynamic between Navarre and Isabeau. But, like, Gaston, he's just such an unremarkable character. He's a thief, and, you know, he does a few cool thief moves. But, like, the whole talking to God thing doesn't work.
Or it almost
Yeah.
like makes sense that he would be better served as a sidekick to Rutger Hauer that is there for comic relief versus being played as like the POV character.
The secret
Yeah.
hero of the movie, basically.
So, he's in the sewers. He talks about escaping his mother's womb. Then he,
It's
like,
gross.
gets into a tunnel, and he thinks he sees... I don't even know what he thinks he sees, but it's a cow skull.
I have no
Yeah.
idea, because
I
the
thought it
whole
was some
time
sort
I'm
of
like,
mythical beast,
No,
the whole time
I,
I'm like, that's a cow skull
like Red
Yeah.
floating
Link.
in the water.
There's no
I-
sewer buffalo. That's not a thing.
I think he thought it was a body,
hmm
Okay.
Well-
like a person,
Yeah.
not a cow.
So, he climbs up a grate, and he's ends up inside Aquila's cathedral. And he gets his fingers stepped on, and he falls through the grate. And you're like, that scene was pointless. But little do we know that'll play into things
Yeah.
way, way later after you've forgotten about it.
He
Little
seems
do we know that
surprised.
most of his scenes will be pointless.
Mm-hmm.
He seemed surprised that like his fingers were getting stepped on, but I'm like, you're putting him up in like a church, like people are walking around.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm
And he
more
knows
surprised that
it's-
so few people noticed at what was going
Right.
on.
They noticed. They didn't care. They're like, oh, it's some dirty
Some
sewer
plague rats.
monster.
Just some
in
plague
fairness-
rats.
A whole bunch of illegal shit happens in that church later on in the movie, and none of those people give one fuck.
That's
It's a-
fair.
A dirty ass Oswald Cobblepot sticking his head up again. I'm gonna
Yeah.
step on him.
Yeah, but
I'm gonna scooch him good this time.
but when Oswald Cobblepot popped up, at least the bulk of the people around would either gawk at him or like hit him with a cane or something.
Yeah, this is medieval times. People don't care.
Yeah, they were just like, it's a guy in the sewer, whatever.
No, people literally get murdered in this church later. They don't care. They don't care about a man in a grate. So anyway, Gaston, like, he's in the castle's moat now, and he picks a pocket, steals a guard's dagger, steals his coin purse.
If this
Talks-
was a D&D, as a D&D novice, what would you roll here?
That would be the pickpocket skill.
Nice.
Well, it depends on your edition, but in third,
Like dexterity?
it would be modified by your dexterity.
Nice.
So yeah, as I told Becca while we were watching this, I'm like, playing a thief in D&D is never this cool. Usually you just get beat up a lot.
Oh, it seems I failed again.
Yeah.
Well, time to take my thrashing.
Mission failure.
Yep.
Who wants to hang Gaston, to kill Gaston, flagellate? And
So
I don't know.
we
I
get
lost it.
We get the new guard captain, and he mobilizes a posse to go capture Gaston. And then we see off in the distance, there's this black rider. He's got a hawk.
Yeah.
And a big ass sword.
Like, who the hell's this guy?
And I was like, oh, wow. Michelle Pfeiffer looks bigger than
Yeah.
and all that gear.
All right, so dumbass Gaston, he escapes. He's so fucking proud of himself. He's at this inn, and he's like, give me your finest wine. I'm going to spend this guard money I just stole. And I'm just gonna brag to every fucking person in the world that I just escaped from the dungeons of Aquila, including the not very well disguised guards that are sitting here.
What,
And
what
half
role
the
what role would
patrons.
that be in D&D?
That's a clear failure of a role. I don't know what skill he was attempting to use. Act like an asshole.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he breaks out of jail, he goes to a bar the town over, and just starts talking shit about how he just broke out, despite the fact that half the patrons are clearly disguised guards.
Mm-hmm.
Like, clearly.
All right, so he does a bunch of like thiefy scrambles, and this is what you think playing a thief in D&D is going to be like. You're going to like crawl under stuff and jump across things and all that. In reality, your armor class is not high enough for that crap. The guards just beat you up,
Yeah,
which
wait,
is essentially what happens here.
Which one of the three ninjas is he? I don't remember.
Tum Tum.
Yeah, he's
Dum Dum.
Dum.
He's
Yeah.
Dum Dum.
He is Dum Dum. All right, so he's about to get well, first off, like he spins a guy around with a knife and cuts the guard captain's head or face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now the guard captain's got a little scar. He's like, kill him. So fucking Rutger Hauer shows up with a
Ye-
goddamn double crossbow.
Ye old Punisher.
Yeah. Fucking yeah, he's got his double crossbow. The captain of the guard like pushes a man onto his sword.
Yeah,
Which
that
just
was like
sucks.
it was kind of a cool character moment that made you realize this guy used to be the captain of the guard.
Mhm.
And obviously there's some people in the ranks that are still like fans of his.
Yeah.
But then it's
Yeah.
cut short by immediately a dude getting pushed onto a sword on accident, and I'm like, okay.
I don't think that was an accident. That
well,
was
Rutger
he's-
Hauer didn't mean to.
Yeah.
He was
But yeah,
pointing
the
it's like
captain
pointing
was
his.
like, the captain was like, "I'm the captain now. If you don't respect that,
Yeah.
you're gonna die."
Mhm.
Yeah, it was pushed onto Rutger Hauer's sword, who obviously did not want that to happen to a former buddy.
So Rutger Hauer just beats everyone's ass, including, like, after getting his horse, chasing down Gaston, picking him up, putting him on the horse with one arm, which, you know, I guess if you're Rutger Hauer, you could do that.
Well, the problem is that Matthew Broderick has his horse license revoked. Or not.
Yeah.
Horse
Yeah,
is
right.
like, I've seen what you do. I'm not going to be an accomplice.
So he takes this horse, jumps over a gate, and just punches the guard in the face from horseback. Like, just,
Yep.
sure, okay.
Doesn't he punch him in the face? Or does he like just hit him on his freaking helmet?
He might have hit the helmet. Either way, the guard's done, and like all the while this ass whooping's going on, it's playing this synth music that you're just like, I'm really jazzed about that man who just got shoved onto a sword by his own leader. So they immediately transition to a like weird ass stick fort in the village. I mean, in the jungle, not the jungle, the woods. Yeah, you know, a forest stick fort inhabited by two people, one of which only communicates in pigeon noises.
Wait, those are people? I thought they were Ewoks.
Shaved Ewoks.
Yeah, I thought
The
they were
wife
some
definitely
kind of-
was.
some
Yeah.
kind of goopy Ewoks.
I think the wife was just a bald Ewok.
She was
Yeah.
definitely making googly eyes at Matthew Broderick, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can both agree that, regardless of what exactly they were, they're probably the parents to Wilford Brimley from the Battle for Endor.
So they're like Rutger Hauer's like, we're staying here, and the guy's like, no, and he's like, we're gonna use your barn, we'll pay you. And the guy's like, well, I guess I'm not gonna beat your giant blonde ass in a fight, so I guess you're staying in my barn.
They're like, yeah, shut up, you're NPCs in this, in this scenario.
Yeah. So yeah, we find out the horse's name is Goliath. He can trot like a motherfucker, and you know, what's his name? Mouse goes to take care of him. Navarre, who is this giant blonde man, giant Rutger Hauer, he's like, all right, you take care of my horse. I'm gonna go into the barn and like rub a dress on myself.
Tommy Wiseau style.
Yeah, fucking just
Lame.
turn into a damn wolf. So now Gaston's out walking around getting firewood, and he's like, fuck this. I'm not going to collect this man's firewood. I'll get the fuck out of here. When he's getting chased by a spooky wolf. And, so now the guy whose house they were staying at is like, that's it. You're out of the barn. It's killing time. Takes his axe, tries to kill Gaston, and gets his throat torn out by a wolf. And, Gaston's like freaking out, running back into the barn, going to get his crossbow, and there's a lady there all of a sudden. And she steals his crossbow bolt, and the dumbass dumped all the other ones on the ground, so he's not getting any of those. And then she's like, nah, it's cool. Don't worry about it. I'm going to go take a walk with the wolf. You sit here and be useless. He's like, can do.
That's where I'm a Viking.
And then it cuts to a shot of just the guard captain who just got done being lit on fire and getting his ass whooped, just riding through this one shepherd's flock of sheep just 'cause. And then he gets off his horse, gets a new horse, and rides off. And you're like, thanks, pointless scene.
Yeah, there was some definitely weird editing in the movie.
So,
gotta fill time somehow.
Yeah, make it 2.5 seconds longer.
Yeah. So he goes back to the bishop. And the bishop is essentially Grand Moff Tarkin in a bishop costume.
Yeah, he's Bishop Palpatine.
Yeah. And he speaks, with like a Palpatine-esque voice.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And he's basically like, guy tells him Navarre's back. He's like, kill him, do it. And then sends him back on his way. Now we cut back to Navarre and Gaston are talking about this beautiful woman that Gaston saw last night. Navarre's all like, ooh, I'm very interested, but I'm not going to tell you my fucking secret because, why do that? Why not let you get chased by a scary wolf again?
That is the thing, like, he's basically saying, you need to stay with me now because you know the way to sneak into the castle, city, castle, whatever we're calling it. So I need you to come with me on this adventure. But, like, what is your plan? Just hoping he sleeps through the night all the time and never questions things? Like,
yeah, you got to give him more details than that. Possibly even explain the whole, like, this is, why I have to kill the bishop, because he fucking made me a werewolf.
Yeah.
So, we learn also that the bishop, he wants the hawk alive. And he's like, get me your dirtiest Alfred Merlina. I need that wolf dead. So, and we also learned that Rutger Hauer can throw this giant greatsword that he has that he never uses on people. He just throws it. Yep. It's his throwing sword. And he can throw that into a tree really well. So yeah, he tells Gaston, yeah, you're basically my prisoner. You're going to get me into Aquila so I could kill the bishop. And,
did they ever say if the wolf is, like, aware when he's the wolf, or is it just kind of a wild animal?
They say something to that effect.
Because every time I woke up, it was attacking somebody, and it seemed like a bad time.
Yeah, they said they don't remember what happens as the animal, but they have an attraction to each other still.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, he also just fucking ties him up. He ties Gaston to a tree for the night, which Gaston manages to talk to this lady that shows up at night, this Michelle Pfeiffer looking lady, she's busy chasing a bunny around. He's like, look, just fucking untie me. I'm going to get out of here. And because he sucks, he immediately just goes to the next village and gets captured. Next note, guards attack Navarre at a village to inappropriate music. So yeah, we get another just Navarre beating ass on the guards to this pounding synth track. And everyone gets crossbowed. Navarre gets crossbowed. The hawk gets crossbowed. Like, if you're not Matthew Broderick, you're catching a crossbow bolt. And Navarre's like, all right, there's not enough characters in this movie. Take the hawk that's been all shot down the road to Imperius. I'm gonna sit here and sulk, I guess, and then turn into a wolf. So, yeah, Navarre goes racing off to this ruined castle, or not Navarre, Gaston goes racing off to this ruined castle, and we meet this guy, Imperius, and he's like, yeah, bring that hawk in there, we'll eat her. And then friggin', he like, Gaston tells him that, like, no, this is Navarre's hawk. And he's like, oh, shit, bring her inside. I'm going to go get some herbs and crap. You don't come in here. And so...
Leave her for me and
Yeah.
wait till night.
Matthew Broderick's Gaston here, he's just like, all right, don't go in there. That's the first thing I'm going to do. Fucking, passes his move silently and his pick locks and just gets in there, finds a fucking naked, wounded Michelle Pfeiffer in there. And...
Don't we all hope to find that?
I mean,
yeah.
Not wounded, really.
Well, no, not so much that part, no.
Not even necessarily naked, just, yeah.
So... we get the crucial scene of just weird music and strange imagery as Imperius pulls a bolt from Michelle Pfeiffer's tit. And, while this is happening, the bishop is like, he's having a dream, like he's in a Tool video. He's twitching all over the place, sweating crazy. And he's woken up because a filthy, filthy Alfred Molina has arrived. He's covered in fleas and scars, and his teeth are jet black. And Bishop's like, yo, go kill this wolf. He's like, get my head caught in a bear trap, can do. I gotcha. And he's out.
Top of this.
Yeah.
Is this after we've seen the terrible fake hawk that got hit with the bolt?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's already happened. The hawk got
yeah.
shot down. Yeah.
I don't know how I totally, yeah. I mean...
I laughed out loud. It's pretty good.
Well, I had to rewind it a couple of times.
You're not doing that with a real hawk, so...
No,
this is what we
certainly
haven't settled
not.
for.
But, I mean, I was just thinking back to, I had home economics in high school. And I had to make a stuffed animal, like, for sewing. And it looks a lot like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, you don't get you're not going to do that to the future ambassador hawk.
Yeah, this is also why I'm thinking this is not a Milo and Otis situation, because
They would have done that.
yeah, they would have just shot a bird. Like,
Yeah.
They would have
Yeah,
had a
it's just
cat with a crossbow.
If it's something you can eat afterwards, I mean, really, what's the harm?
All right. So now Gaston, he's talking to this Imperius guy, and he's like, look, neither of these motherfuckers I'm traveling with are fans of, telling me things. So, what's going on here? And Imperius is like, okay, check it out. So, there's this chick, Isabeau. It's Michelle Pfeiffer. Everyone wants Michelle Pfeiffer, including the bishop.
Mhm.
But she wanted a Rutger Hauer for some reason. So, he was the captain of the guard. So the bishop got so pissed, he busted out the devil magic, just went straight for the heresy.
Yeah, I mean... Why not? I mean, Michelle Pfeiffer, man.
Yeah, that shit escalated quick. And he's like, fuck this. I could just change Navarre into a wolf, he's just a wolf now. But no, instead I'm going to make it where he's a wolf at night and Isabeau's a hawk during the day, and they can only see each other for a fleeting moment at sunrise and sunset. And they're just going to have to live like that forever. And, so there was this other priest that told the bishop, essentially, of that Isabeau and Navarre were in love. And this guy is really guilty, so he lives in a destroyed castle now. And it's Imperius. And
So what was Isabeau before this?
Hot.
she was just,
Like a villager?
a hot maiden or something.
Okay, and the bishop had the hots for her too?
Yeah.
they don't get into her class or anything. She was just some
She's hot,
lady
hot,
in town.
Yeah.
Eh,
Alright.
So-
I think in an RPG, she would be hot class.
Yeah.
yeah.
So one thing I do like with this movie is that, like, he's a bishop of a religion, but they never really talk, like, they mention God, but they don't really, like, go so far as to put up, like, Christian imagery or anything. It's just,
Oh, that's a good point.
it's a religion. Like, the symbol is cross-like, but not a cross.
Mhm.
And they're like, let's not get into all that. This guy, he's an evil bishop of a different religion that very quickly results to devil magic. when
Yeah,
he
like
gets
in the
disappointed.
church, the set they use for the church, it could just as easily have been like the hall for a king. There's no like
Yep.
really religious symbolism in it or anything. So I didn't really think about that. That's interesting.
Some of that gets into questions I'll have later, but
Okay.
So, yeah, we get this guy, this Alfred Molina guy, Caesar. He's been dispatched to get the Black Wolf. We get some guards showing up to the castle that the Hawks in.
Yeah.
They're like, you're gonna give us that Michelle Pfeiffer, and
It's
you know,
freaking Home Alone shenanigans is what happens next.
the sun is beginning to rise, but it hasn't risen yet. And so fucking like they start to break in. Like the gate that Imperius has gives up like a bitch immediately under the battering ram, and then Imperius is like, I'm gonna Home Alone these guys for a while. I got some traps. And like one of the guards just straight up punches him in the fucking face and is like, done with you, old man. So Imperius does warn them that the bishop can't be killed, because if you kill the bishop, the curse will never end. The bishop has to see them both together as man and woman. So
watch them fuck.
So I missed that part of dialogue. So I was I was really creeped out at the end of the movie, but
Yeah, I was totally lost, but I kind of figured
his
something
witness
like
me moment.
yeah.
Look at us!
That's what I thought was gonna happen. Like he was gonna start banging her.
Gonna consummate this right here.
How you like
So-
me now?
Yeah, Imperius's game of Home Alone kind of sucks, and the guards just kick his ass. So, then they climb up to the top of a tower, which was not the greatest move. And they end up sealing a trapdoor on the top, which a guard just immediately breaks through. And then fucking Butterfingers Matthew Broderick here knocks Isabeau off the side of the castle, tries to grab her, can't even fucking hold on to her. And she falls into some very questionable effects as the sun comes up.
God, yeah.
This is a year before Labyrinth. People can't turn into animals yet, so they got to get creative, I guess. And she turns into a hawk, is what we're led to believe. What we're shown is kind of questionable.
I mean, it's good.
Yeah,
All right.
I am usually a big defender of old school special effects, but
But these aren't effects.
well,
Yeah.
well, that's part of. Well, I was going to say the rear projection stuff when she's hanging there is not good. Green screen was way better.
Yeah.
And then we couldn't even do anything, so we just kind of show an eyeball and then do a hawk scream, and that's it.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just she's screaming, non-stop screaming, to the point where I'm like, please stop. Please, I'm just so loud and I'm not.
I think that's what woke me up from my nap.
And
that gets worse later, by the way.
It just closes in on her face, and a close-up of her eye, and then all of a sudden it's like, and then it pulls out, and there's the hawk just flying around.
So, long and short of it, she becomes a burb. Flies off. Fucking the guard is
What
now.
happened to her clothes, by the way?
Whatever.
They're gone. I don't know. So guard comes up there, spots fucking Mouse because he's a shitty thief, and is like, all right, where the fuck she'd go? Mouse is like, I don't know, but there's Rutger Hauer gonna shoot you with a crossbow from a different time zone. It's like a fucking sniper with that thing. And this is some good quality throw dummy off top of tall tower.
Yup.
That was a solid long shot of a dummy just crashing into the ground.
I was making the same face of that gargoyle that Broderick was standing next to.
Yeah, so Navarre just woke up, grabbed his crossbow. It's just that man needs to die.
Yeah.
So, all right, so now
Not
Navarre
wrong.
talks to Imperius, and Imperius is like, yo, check it out. In 3 days, there's going to be an eclipse, but I don't know anything about science, so I can't say that. So I have to say cryptic ass, there'll be a day without a night and a night without a day. Rutger Hauer's just like, shut up.
Yeah, that's not how eclipses work, bro.
I'm going to go just kill the guy now.
We just figured out this thing called day for night.
Yeah. So now they start heading back to Aquila. Navarre and Mouse are together, and they I forget why they split up. He's like, just go watch her. I'm gonna go be a wolf. And it appears like Gandalf riding on a cart shows up and scares the crap out of Navarre. Like, he's like, I gotta go. I guess that was fucking Mouse? Or not Mouse, Cesar, the wolf hunter. But, like, he seemed really scared of this random vagabond on a cart. So, yeah, so what you call Gaston finds a barn to put, what's her name in, Isabeau. Well, Rutger Hauer runs through the woods and shape shifts.
Yup.
Yeah, this
You
is
mean
what I was talking about.
drops off
Yeah.
the frame, and then a wolf is in the frame?
Yes.
That kind of shape-shifting?
I would take this over what we saw Michelle Pfeiffer go
I
through.
agree. I fully agree with that.
True, but it is it is just so badly done because like they try and trick you by throwing in a like a lightning strike,
Yep.
but like there's a clear like I don't know 5 or 6 frames before the wolf shows up after he disappears.
Like, he hasn't
it's
even
not even
got-
subtle at all.
He hasn't even gotten his shirt off. Like,
Mhm.
he's still undressing, and then suddenly, oh, it's a wolf.
Yeah.
There's a
I
wolf.
could have
now.
used one bit of, like, American Werewolf in London kind of effects. Just
Ooh,
one
yeah.
shot of a mask with some air bladders in it, like, twitching around.
That would be
Something
great.
like that.
Yeah,
but-
that'd be awesome.
But at the
So-
very least, just edit it faster so it's literally just a blink and he's changed.
Yeah, this should not be in slow motion like it
No.
was. Alright, so fucking now Gaston's like, I'm gonna make my move here. I'm gonna be all like, hey there, Isabeau. Navarre said you're supposed to do anything that I tell you to do. So, alright, you're gonna put this dress on and we're gonna dance and we're gonna have some wine.
That's
And,
right.
See where
They
the night
do-
takes us.
yeah, they do some fucking medieval dancing, I guess. They're like, let's go get that wine. They step out of the barn, and they run into the filthiest of Alfred Molina's.
So wait, do you think he's legit trying to seduce her here?
I don't know. I mean, I think it's supposed to be like Isabeau, her attractiveness is sort of like the One Ring, where it just,
That's funny. I was about to make the exact.
yeah,
same.
like
Yeah.
it'll just, it'll wear on everyone. Like, you know,
Unlike,
everyone wants to hit that.
she spends half her time not human, so therefore she's like half as dirty as all the other women in
That
the
is true, yeah.
in the kingdom.
Yeah.
So it's like, wow, her skin's not dirty.
The whole time he spends with her, he's just like, all right, remember the thing with your mother. Remember the thing with your mother. Remember the... no, I'm still getting a boner. Damn it.
So, yeah, they run into to Alfred Molina, and Isabeau just screams and runs in the barn, which is a fair reaction to this man.
Mhm.
And, you know, Gaston just spills the beans that her name's Isabeau. So, fucking Cesar over here, he's like, all right, I'm at my place. Let's go set some traps for some wolves. And friggin', Isabeau, you know, you think she's cowering in the barn, but no, she's actually getting on Goliath and riding off to save her man. So, yeah, now we think this is going to be a big deal. Like, they've built up Cesar like he's some kind of something at least. Like, he'll be somewhat effective.
Yeah, like he'll be like the main foil for Rutger
Yeah.
Hauer.
Because, like, the guard captain, you've already kind of taken the wind out of his sails. Like, that guy sucks.
Yeah.
Tossed in a fire.
Yeah.
This little cape caught on fire. You can't take it seriously.
I almost think that was real.
So, Cesar puts up a bunch of, like, bear traps, catches the wrong wolf, throws stones into most of his own bear traps, and then, like, when he's looking at the wolf he caught that is not Navarre, fucking, Michelle Pfeiffer just runs out and pushes his face into a bear trap.
Yup. You get a nice Alfred Molina scream face
Yeah.
with a bear trap around it.
And I mean, that's the correct way to kill that character, but it was like, have him do something.
Right.
Have him do something.
Like, have him at least catch Rutger Hauer.
Yeah.
At least put Rutger Hauer in a situation where he's helpless, or, you know.
Yeah, if that
In
wolf in the
danger.
trap had actually been him, you know, like he didn't have to die. Like he just has his foot caught or whatever, and Alfred Molina's gonna kill him, and then she comes over. But no, it's not even him.
It'd be like a funny move if she goes over to the wolf that's not Rutger Hauer to be like, oh, baby, blah, 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 and just, like, fucking bites her hand off.
Alright, so we cut to the next day, and the LadyHawke here lands on Mouse's arm, not Navarre. And he's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, what happened last night?
You banged my wife? My bird wife?
To be fair, she wasn't a bird at the time.
Yeah. And so Mouse, rather than tell the truth, like, yo, you almost fucking got killed by a dirty Alfred Molina. Like, and she saved you. He's all talking about some other crap. And then, he talks his way out of it, though. He's like, oh, she couldn't stop talking about you. She loves you, blah, blah, blah. And then we cut to just a majestic scene of a hawk flying across a lake. Pretty cool.
Wait, well, if I could just say, that was one of the really weird things for me with all this, is he routinely starts lying about what the other one said to make up all this flowery stuff. And it's like, they're supposed to be deeply in love. Why does he have to lie about all this?
Like, they're already star-crossed lovers. You don't need to, like, pad it out even more.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just tell the truth, like, she walked around with you as a wolf for a while and ignored me like she usually does. Like, so, either way, we see that Imperius is on his way to Aquila as well, and he's taking to Fury Road with his savage-ass wagon. And Navarre's, like, they all meet up, and Navarre's like, fuck you, Imperius, I'm not gonna wait another day, even though, like, I've waited 2 years. I'm gonna go storm the castle today.
And even though technically I only remember half of the day.
Yeah. So he goes to sleep, and Imperius, Gaston, and Isabeau at night, they hatch a plan. They're like, all right, we're gonna have you guys dig a hole of some sort, and that's it. That's the plan. Just fat dude in a hole.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we get the obligatory trying to get the fat man out of the hole scene. And then the wolf shows up, and I guess the plan is just trap him in a hole. But I'm like, that hole's not going to hold Rutger Hauer. Like, so, I mean, was the plan just to, like, like, what was the plan? Because Rutger Hauer's just going to get right out of that. And I'd wager he'd be able to, like, even if Mouse and Imperius were trying to stop him, he'd just beat their asses and get out of the hole.
Well, turns out it doesn't matter anyway, Joe, because he never even makes it to the hole.
Yeah, he just
he
falls
finds
through
another
ice.
one. Yeah.
There's legit 2 holes before that hole.
So now we get the rescue the doggo from the pond scene, where Mouse this is sad to watch. Like, the dog should be able to get out of that water pretty easily. Mouse can't fucking do anything helpful. He falls in the water.
Was it like a dog dummy?
I don't know what
was
was
it a real
happening
dog?
there.
I think that was a real dog.
I was talking to Rob, something was up with my TV, like, because it's really bright in the room that I, like, watch my TV in, so, like, most of the night scenes I couldn't see a lot of stuff, and, like, I never got a really good look at what the wolf looked like anyway, so it just looked like Matthew Broderick, like, fiddling with something furry in the water.
Yeah, Isabeau does not do much to help, and, like, they all get out of the ice, they're all just lying there on top of the ice, and fucking Imperius crawls over, and I was just thinking, how funny would it be if his fat ass caused the whole thing to break again and they all fell in?
Well, that's the other funny thing is, like, this kind of seems to be the scene where they're like, oh, Imperius, you've redeemed yourself a bit, and, like, we can trust you now, but it's like, he didn't do anything.
Yeah. So, alright, basically, like, at the beginning of the next day, like, you get the scene where they can see each other for a sec as, the wolf turns into Navarre, and then, like, he can see Isabeau for a sec. He puts his hand out, and they touch each other, but then Isabeau's eyes turn into hawk eyes, and she flies away. And Rutger Hauer is a very, very angry Rutger Hauer right here. So he's like, where's my family sword? And Gaston's like, yeah, shit fell through the ice. It's fucked. And, so Navarre's, like, is gonna beat his ass. And then he sees all of Gaston's wolf wounds. And he's like, how did you get these? And he's like, well, saving your dumb ass from the lake. So now I guess Navarre now is like, okay, I'll wait a day. We'll do this your way, Imperius. And Imperius's plan is a pretty bold one. He's like, all right, Gaston, you sneak into the castle. I'll just take my damn wagon and just bring both these motherfuckers in there. And I guess, the bishop didn't tell anybody to be looking out for Isabeau or a black wolf. So this just works. They just go in the castle and they just get past everyone.
Yeah, it's weird.
So why did he lie about the sword? Just because he thought it would stop him from going after the bishop?
I think so.
Yeah. I don't understand it much myself.
Okay.
No, I think it was because he's, that's his family sword. He needs that to kill the bishop. So I think he was thinking if he doesn't have the sword, that's less reason to go try and kill the bishop. But yeah, it's not very clear, and it seems like he has other reasons to decide to go with their plan anyway. So I don't know.
Okay.
So it's a bit weird.
So Bishop takes like all night to get ready. And, it's daytime again, and there is a big old procession to the cathedral. And that takes a while. And inside the church, while people are filing in, fucking Gaston here, there's a dude standing on the grate. And Gaston's like poking him in the foot with a knife, and this guy's just like, oh, must be a rat.
Like, why would you want a rat biting your foot either? Like,
Yeah.
Why would you just stand there?
So he takes his stick and sticks it in the grate a few times, and then Gaston just outright stabs the man in the foot.
Also, didn't they already? So wasn't there like an off? Wasn't there like an off the cuff comment about how there's more wolves than people after the plague?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wait,
So the plague is a thing.
Yeah.
So you're just gonna let a rat bite your foot?
Rat fucking stabbed you.
This goes to what I was talking about earlier, where
Master
again,
Splinter down there.
yeah, if you just look down, it's a fucking dude. Like he's got his fingers up through the grate for crying out loud.
I think the rule is at church, you don't talk, you don't say anything, you don't do anything. You just stay at church till someone tells you can go. Because, no one in here does anything about all of the tomfoolery that's about to ensue.
Yeah, but, you could at least fucking move.
So that's what he did. He's just like, I'll go find somewhere else to stand, I guess.
Here now.
And, you think he might look at the grate after getting stabbed in the foot and notice a fucking Matthew Broderick emerge from it.
I mean,
but no.
So weird.
Maybe he just didn't want to. Didn't want to believe it.
Yeah.
So this is like freaking. I didn't hear that comment about the wolves. This is freaking like Wolf Town. No wonder if they need a wolf catcher.
Well, you gotta imagine, after the plagues ran through and so many dead bodies, they couldn't bury them all. They just had to do mass graves or just pile them up or burn them or whatever. And I'm sure that wolves propagated like crazy because there was so much human meat.
It got him horny.
Yeah.
So,
all right,
but again,
it all
now
checks out to me.
Now Matthew Broderick, with the stealth of a frickin' moose,
Also
just tries to sneak
gets
up and
super
unlock
horny.
the door.
all right. So yeah, he's working on the door. Check out fucking Navarre here. He's like, all right, Imperious, I'm gonna go kill the bishop. You hold on to Isbo. If you hear the bells go off, then that means I failed, and you're just gonna fucking murder her. Don't even give her the choice if she wants to live on without me.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
No,
Just
no.
kill her.
Just kill her. Kill her. Do it painlessly, but kill her.
And it almost felt like later on that those guards knew what his plan was.
Yeah.
So they're like, we've got to ring the bells
Just ring
So-
it.
for some
Yeah.
reason.
Imperious is just like, I'm not going to do that. And he's like, just do it. You got to do it. And he's like,
Cut
no.
her head off.
Do it.
Yeah, he's just like, do it. And then, they just sort of leave it at a stalemate, and he's like, fuck it, I'm going to go storm into church. Yeah, and so Mouse finishes opening the door, and a guard is coming over to, stop him when fucking Captain Navarre just triumphantly bursts in there. Oh, first off, though, he makes a bitch out of all of the guards out there. There's 20 guards outside the church. He just rides up to one of them. Dude goes to draw his sword. He just fucking takes it from him and throws it on the ground.
He's like, no.
So, the rest of the guards are like, fuck it, just let him in. Just let him in. So, yeah, Navarre in his weird ass visor storms in there,
Yeah,
triumphantly,
those visors were weird.
kicks the door open. It's an interesting looking, I guess that's the guard captain helm, because I like how the new guard captain has a gold one.
Yeah.
And he just comes in and fucks up some guards, no problem. And the new guard captain's like, all right, I got this. You want to have a church joust? Yeah, let's have a church joust.
That's right.
Like, I can't say I've ever seen a church joust before, but, you know.
What could
Depends on
possibly
the
go
wrong
wrong?
churches.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if the church doesn't have pews or anything, and, like, everyone just stands there like assholes,
I mean, to be fair, Joe, you haven't been to church in a while, so
Yeah.
this stuff could be going on
Yeah,
weekly.
with all the
Now-
social distancing going on, there's a lot
Yeah.
of room for jousting.
It's what I do every Sunday.
Yeah. Now, if you guys are having jousts at your church, I might come check that out.
Send you a pamphlet.
He said, yeah, send me some.
You'll
Some
have to
literature.
you got to bring a hot dish.
And so, like you learn at every Ren Fair, like, you think jousting is cool until they start jousting, and then you're
Until
like,
you see it happen.
yeah, you're like, this really isn't that exciting. And there's not even like a motherfucker with a kettle drum and like someone hitting like a cymbal crash to help make it more exciting. Like,
No, you're
this is
thinking
just,
of medieval times.
yeah, this is just two guys trotting around, occasionally swinging swords at each other. It's not that exciting of a joust.
Where's my Cornish game hen and flagon of Pepsi?
So now fucking, Navarre unhorses the guard captain, who tries to throw his helmet at Navarre and heaves the fucking thing like 50 feet in the air through the stained glass window. Like,
Yeah, it's a home run.
Well, he
Yeah.
knocks this dude off his horse like 3 times, 2 times.
So finally, the new guard captain just tackles Navarre off the horse. He's like, get off the horse, this is stupid.
Yeah.
Like, so Navarre still beats his ass. And then you get a kind of cool, like, first-person shot from inside Navarre's visor as he beats up some guards.
And by beats up, you mean just like push them aside?
Yeah, he takes a guard out with a straight-up rump kick. Like, just, like, I've kicked around you into your left buttock, and you're done. You're done for the battle. Like, we don't see that guard again. So...
He was like, well, I just got my ass kicked. Guess I'm out.
Yeah.
Now I can't say I didn't try.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now this one guard's like, I'm gonna ring the bell, just 'cause.
Just for fun.
I'm gonna ring
so
your bell, pal.
Navarre fucking throws a dagger at him, and the guard's still like, no, I gotta ring the bell. Still rings it, like,
Take him down, Legolas.
yeah. So now fucking Navarre's like, ah, shit, Isbo's dead. Well, might as well murder everyone here. And so, now the old guard captain comes at him. Fucking Mouse throws him his family sword. That is surprisingly underwhelming, the reaction to that.
Yeah, it's like it's ignored for a full 3 minutes.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, when is he gonna pick it up?
Yeah, Rutger Hauer like doesn't
Yeah.
even notice it's there.
So,
It's
fucking,
like a parody movie where Matthew Broderick tries to throw it and he goes like way at the other end of where they're fighting.
It's like if the Lady of the Lake threw Excalibur and just landed in a pile of pig shit, and King Arthur walks away. Like, I'm done.
so he dispatches the guard captain with a maneuver I'd like to call the slow roll.
Yeah.
This is actually a somewhat effective move in that the guard captain overstabs where he thought he was going to be. He rolls to like pull the sword out of the captain's hand, and then picks it up and stabs him with it.
But he rolls like into him, right?
He rolls into him first to avoid the
Okay.
sword's thrust, and then he rolls away from him to pull the sword out of his hand.
Yeah, the slow motion just had me all kinds of confused. I didn't know what was happening.
So the guard captain's dead, and like he grabs his family sword now, and there's like this one other guard who's like, I'm not gonna try very hard, and Rutger Hauer's like, good, I'm just gonna push this fucking thing of candles on top of you. Yeah, and now the bishop's there.
Yeah, hold
And,
on. Will, hold your comments for a moment. Now Prodigy starts playing. Smack My Bishop.
Oh, chase my bishop.
Whack-a-dee-smack-a-dee-doo.
Smack my bishop.
Listen, there's a story behind that, and it's awful.
All right.
I mean, it's a
Care
small
to tell
segue.
it?
Yeah.
pretty funny.
So I've been playing. So I got really sick after I got my vaccine,
Mm-hmm.
and Sharon decided it would make me feel better to get me a new game as a gift.
That was nice of her.
It was
Aw.
very nice of her. So she got me Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Mm-hmm.
The game's really dumb.
Yep.
Oh.
And there's legit a mission where you're helping a band of singers
Mm-hmm.
beat up a priest because he's saying their music is bad. And
Okay.
they call themselves the Prodigies, and then they name the song that they sing Smack My Bishop.
Oh.
Wow.
That is a mission in a game about being an assassin in Viking times.
A
Yep.
triple A produced game.
Yeah,
Triple
so-
A game that I've been killed no less than 10 times just by glitches.
So what you're telling me is the Assassin's Creed people have officially given up.
Oh, they've definitely given up. I got lots of stories about that game.
Mm.
I've started saving the clips of the stupid deaths I've had. So I'm sorry. Go on, Joe.
That's okay. So now, like, the bishop's like, where's Isbo? And he's like, you killed her! Which is not true. Like,
I killed her. But,
Yeah.
you know,
yeah, basically I killed her.
I gave very specific orders
Yeah.
that led to her death.
yeah, it's very much me.
And then, like, you're like, oh, it's a fucking eclipse. So, sure enough, Isbo's a person, and she walks into church. And so this gets weird, because now, like, Rutger Hauer's pointing this giant sword at the bishop, and he's like, look at her! Then he's like, don't look at me! Now look at us!
This is
And
also again where I was like, you guys are supposed to be in love, and he's supposed to look at you, right? So can't you at least stand near each other? Like,
Yeah, like,
think from where they're standing that they couldn't stand each other.
Yeah, like she's still in the doorway, basically.
I'll just run over to her and just be like, look what I'm doing to her that you can't do. Doing this right in your house of God, because I don't give a fuck. I'm wild. I'm Rutger Hauer. But no. So Isbo walks up to the bishop, takes her little, like, falcon leg restraint things. I don't know what you call those. And drops them at the bishop.
Which
And-
also at this point,
Mhm.
I had the thought of like, wait, does she wake up naked wearing those every night?
Yeah, I guess so.
Wearing like little bands on her ankles.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that little hood.
I
that'd be
can't
great.
see.
So, yeah, she's broken free of her chains from the bishop, I guess. So the bishop's like, if I can't have her, no one will. And Rutger Hauer just heaves this, like, 6-foot-long sword straight as an arrow through the bishop and driving him against the wall and through the wall. And you get, like, the side shot of the sword impaling everything. And, yeah, you get the proverbial Rutger howitzer. And, yeah, bishop's dead. Imperius and Morse are like, all right, I guess, or Mouse, not Morse. Thinking of Alien 3 for some reason. So Imperius and Mouse are like, all right, I guess we're done here. I'm gonna go. And then Rutger Hauer's like, all right, peace. I'm gonna swing his bow around for a while.
Oh wait.
And he and Mouse and the monk guy are like crying into each other's like shoulders.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
They
that is
can't-
right. They do have a good holding each other moment.
Yeah, Matthew Broderick like kisses him. It's pretty great.
Two things with this scene. One,
Yeah.
the first one, I had a good laugh because Rutger Hauer is just like, oh no, you two come over here, and I was half expecting the two like bishops or whatever in front of him to step forward. And then, oh, you meant them behind us,
Mhm.
right? Okay. The other thing is like this was so indicative of like my high school experience where it's like, yay, we saved the day, and now the attractive lady is free, and she's gonna call me the best friend she could have ever had.
Mhm.
Now I'm gonna go off with this fat guy and do God knows what.
Hold each other and cry.
Yeah.
Riding his van around for a
Yeah.
little bit, I guess.
So
But it's all full circle because now we are the fat guy.
Well, I was always the fat guy.
Now we're doing that to young nerds everywhere.
Yeah, we're the shoulder to cry on now.
So, the two of them walk off, and like in the movie fades away with Navarre throwing his bow around the church, and there's like 50 priests that just watch their bishop get killed, and like a whole bunch of blasphemy happen in the house of God here,
Yep.
and like they're just like, wow, Mass was interesting today. I wonder which one of us is in charge now.
Yeah.
Let's
That
all
was the
just
other-
stand here.
That was the other thing I was wondering about. Like, do we have a king or something? Like who's in charge now? Like I don't know what's
They're
happening.
all going to start fighting to the death to
Yeah.
choose a ruler.
Like, yeah.
Oh, Mouse won. Great.
Yeah.
So I do kind of like the cheesy line at the end where Imperius is like telling Mouse to stay on the up and up, because there's a spot in heaven for him. And Mouse is like, well, I'll get in there even if I have to pick the lock on the gates.
Mhm.
And yeah, and
See what
that's
St. Peter has to say about that, you little,
That's
little
right.
punk.
He's got a Glock.
He's the keeper of the keys
He's not afraid to use it.
so.
in heaven.
Yeah. So the movie ends to more just bumping synthesizers, and that's it. That's LadyHawke.
There's a sign on the gates of heaven that say, "We don't call 911."
Jesus.
Yep.
Oh,
He's there too. With an AK.
Trespassers will be shot. Solicitors will be shot twice.
If you can read this, you're in range.
Well then, Tony.
so on RottenTomatoes.com, critics have this at a score of 67%. Audience have this at a score of 74%. That's their thoughts and opinions. What about you and yours, Rob?
Man, I don't know. Because I had my what the hell am I looking at face on for the majority of this film. Here's the thing. There's nothing egregious about this movie, but I can't in good conscience tell anybody to watch it. There's nothing actually happens. There's almost no dialogue. The special effects are non-existent. You can see a dirty Alfred Molina anywhere. I mean, the Rutger Hauer is cool, but it's nothing you can't see a clip of online. I honestly wouldn't bother. I just wouldn't bother with this. That said, I have a copy for sale.
Anyone interested?
You wouldn't recommend anyone watch it, but you'd be willing to sell them the movie.
I want someone to buy it. That's for sure. Yeah, I think that's where I'm at. I'm like at a. If you want to watch it, sure, but why? That's me.
Joe.
I'd say the rating's about right. I enjoyed myself. I think a large amount of that just stemmed from the completely inappropriate music. I'm like, this music's pretty cool. It does not at all match what's happening in front of me. Also, I thought the sets were really cool. Like the whole movie was filmed in many beautiful locations. I thought that the cathedral where they fought it out at the end was a great set for a final battle. I liked the performances, even though there really wasn't a lot to any of the characters.
How about Matthew Broderick's weirdly shifting accent?
Well, that was going to be the one thing I was going to point out would be like, I could do without Mouse. Like, this movie could have used a better main character. And it really, by the, this last quarter of the movie, Navarre's the main character. And Mouse is just sort of an afterthought. So, I would still recommend it though. I enjoyed myself watching it. I like a good fantasy movie. There's nothing in here that really rustles any of my jimmies or whatever. Nothing got me riled up. Like the stupid stuff is like minimal stupid. And while there's not a lot of amazing stuff, what's in there is decent. So I'd say it's probably like a B-. B. I enjoyed myself. One thing I do not understand though is this movie was nominated for 2 Oscars.
Oh wow!
What?
Yep, for best sound and best sound editing.
Nope.
And it's terrible at both of those. Like it's really bad. The hawk makes laser noises at points. Like it's really like what? I would have just it didn't win for either of them, but it got nominated.
Yeah, that's okay.
I was questioning that myself, and I really wanted to look up what else was nominated or but particularly what won, because I'm real curious. But I didn't do that, unfortunately.
Was Navarre even a likable protagonist?
Yeah.
He was kind of default. He kind of
Yeah.
reminded me of the knight from Hunchback of Notre Dame.
I've never seen it, but
Oh my god, it's so good.
okay. But I mean, like, I don't know. He was kind of selfish.
He didn't want to be a wolf.
Yeah,
wanted
but
to be
he
a
also
werewolf.
Put
but
yourself in his paws.
But he
Yeah.
also was like, he was kind of doing the same thing though, where he was like, well, if I can't have her, nobody should. I'm gonna kill this breed, so you kill her.
Yeah, that part at the end about having Imperius kill Isbo, that was fucked up. But everything else, I was like, all right, yeah, he's standard night man. Actually, I'm sorry, he's day man technically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I said, I would say this is a light recommend. If you're looking for that fantasy style, this isn't a bad one. But it is, it's kind of just nothing. It's like you said, there are major flaws in it for sure. Mouse is fairly annoying, and he seems way more modernized than he ought to be. Yeah, the fact that his name is Gaston, but he just sounds like Matthew Broderick and that kind of shit. But and Rutger Hauer, Navarro, whatever, is kind of bland, but whatever. It's not really offensive aside from a few things like again, I get what they're going for with the, if I'm dead, she wouldn't want to live, so kill her peacefully kind of thing, and add a sad element where he thinks she's dead. But yeah, it just comes off more as him being a selfish prick. But I see what they were going for, and again, it's not offensive. It didn't upset me or anything. So, light recommend if you got an off weekend or something, you just want something to throw on. You got a hangover or something. This is fine, but you certainly don't need to go rushing out to try and view this movie. Will?
Yeah, so I was kind of trying to put my thoughts together, and I know a lot of times we give things like a light recommend, so I'm gonna do sort of the other side of that coin and do like a light not recommend. Like you guys were saying, it's not straight up bad, like horribly made. And it's not even so bad it's good. But for me, it just didn't hit me in the right place. Like I said, I kind of fell asleep for a little bit of it, so that tells you at least where I was at. I think the story itself is really, I've told a couple friends we were watching it, and one person I was like, yeah, we're watching LadyHawke, and they're like, is that with Bruce Willis? And I'm like, no, that's Hudson Hawk, but I don't know which one's worse.
Oh, I'd watch this over Hudson Hawk.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. So yeah, I think the idea is really interesting, and if the plot sounds like something you're into, definitely check it out. But I'm not gonna really say you need to watch it, or with the amount of cool stuff streaming right now, like that you need to try and go find it somewhere. Yeah, so I was more intrigued by the plot than what actually, the idea than what I was actually put onto film. Anything else I would say would just kind of be echoing some other people's thoughts, but yeah, so I just say light, not recommend.
Oh shit, folks. I don't know what to do here because we are perfectly at a split. One light recommend, one not, or light not recommend, one recommend, and one not recommend.
Oh, well, I was gonna ask
No,
how
Brian
many
first.
times would you how many times watching Willow in a row would it take before you were like, all right, I'll watch this movie?
Am I being forced to watch these in a row?
I think I would watch this before watching Willow.
Really?
Period. Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, so I'd say I was going to recommend Willow because this is if you want that 80s, fantasy vibe.
I think Willow just feels a lot longer to me.
Yeah, but a lot more happens. A lot more.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Willow
I don't
technically is longer, but this movie's 2 hours.
I don't want to see that goopy thing turn inside out, though. That's not...
Yeah, its head explodes, though.
You know what? The more I think about this, the more I'm not sure.
Okay.
Because
Well, that got us
I
nowhere.
really don't. I don't ever want to see Michelle Pfeiffer turn into that hawk again.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah, so
But Michelle Pfeiffer.
She's in it for like 3 seconds, and she's got a weird hairdo, and like I could watch Batman Returns.
Mm.
yes.
Batman Returns exists, therefore this movie has no reason to exist.
Oh, just because of Michelle Pfeiffer. Yeah, that's weird. I'd watch Willow like a bunch of times before watching this.
I'd watch Willow once and then not watch either of them. I would
Yeah.
I would decline completely for the rest of the day.
Yeah, that would be my what you call it, my recommendation.
I could recommend Willow over this for sure.
All right.
Lord of
Fucking
the Rings.
steal some babies.
Daikini babies.
Teeny babies.
Get Warwick Davis running around. Fucking General Kale and Sorsha. Awesome stuff.
Yeah,
So we'll say Willow
sure.
for the light recommend for LadyHawke.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to lightly recommend the Steakhouse Premium Bacon from IHOP. According to this ad that I'm looking at right now, it's 5 times thicker. I don't know what it's.
What?
I don't know what is thicker than. I don't know that I would want 5 times thicker bacon than normal bacon.
5 times thicker than something 1/5 its size.
I'm pretty sure that's just like a slice of ham at that point. Like
Or
Yeah.
pork belly.
it's a pork chop at that point.
Yeah.
It says try it. I'm not going to try it, but I just figured I'd share that info.
Nice.
This episode is also brought to you by Acura. Less talk, more drive.
Whose turn is it to roll?
It's my turn.
Yes, it is.
So I've got the list randomized. I don't want to roll the D20 of fate because you guys aren't here in person, so I'm just going to go to random.org rolladie.net to roll a 20-sided die. I'm going to go ahead and hit the button now. And I rolled a 14, which is 2021's Ape vs. Monster from Asylum Films. That's not true.
Whoa, I was like,
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah, I
lied.
was. Jeez.
I lied to you guys.
Fucking hate you.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. All right, 14. Oh, geez, 14 is actually 1993's Groundhog Day.
Oh.
all right.
Get a romantic comedy of sorts,
Nice.
I guess.
This will be the challenge of talking about a good movie.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, there you go.
We've lived a Groundhog Day the last year, so.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty. I mean, we work in retail, so every day is pretty much Groundhog Day. You know, that's kind of what we're working with. But excuse me, I apologize, guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a part of this podcast. I'm talking to you guys, not the audience.
Oh. Well, thanks for having us.
Yeah, of course.
I like
Fuck.
being here.
Talk to
Maybe,
you.
you know, in the next few weeks, we'll be all fully vaccinated and can maybe hang out.
That would be swell. That would be swell. To the rest of you guys, our listening audience, our patrons, you guys are amazing. We want to thank you so much for listening. We do appreciate it. It's what keeps us coming back, despite not being able to actually hang out in person. If you want to hear what else we've done, you can find our episode archives at www.4ampodcast.podbean.com. You can support us by picking up some merch at teespring.com/4ampodcast. You can, of course, support the podcast and get access to patrons-only content via patreon.com/4ampodcast. You can, of course, email us at the4ampodcast@gmail.com. That is pretty much it. Does anybody else have anything to add? I think I'll quickly check the email just in case we have anything new to talk about.
I think I'm good.
We don't, so there you go.
No.
You good, fam?
Yeah, I'm ready for dinner.
Well, thank you guys so much. I don't know what all that is about, but yeah, we'll see you guys in the next episode with Groundhog Day.
Bye.
Adios.
Good night, everybody.